Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Just a Girl and Her Knitting. My name is Heather, and I'm coming to you from Spokane Valley, Washington. How is everybody doing? I'm doing good. A little warm, but I'm doing good. We got a lot to talk about today, so I guess we'll just jump right in. I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so we'll see how quickly we can get through this. You can find me on the internet, on Instagram, Ravelry, and my email. I also have an Etsy shop where I crank sock tubes for people. But I think that's it. All the places you can find me. Good morning, welcome back. It's another episode. I got some things done. I have some whips. Made progress on something, so it's really exciting. But let's jump right in, I guess. I have nothing else to say, or I don't think anything else to go over. I'm just thinking. I'm looking around me, just thinking. All right. So I guess let's just jump right in with finished objects. So my first FO is my collection of column socks for Nancy Wheeler of knitsiphappy. They are finished. I've never been so excited. So let me see if I can turn this enough where you can see. I haven't blocked them, but they have this little lace panel running down the middle of the back of the sock. I have both of them done. I did a heel flap and gusset per Nancy's pattern. Sorry, my nose is a little stuffy this morning. I don't know why, but 1x1 rib. Did the collection of columns on the back, heel flap and gusset, knit the foot, and then a rounded toe. Nancy always puts rounded toes in her patterns, so that's what I did. I have the yarn. So happy to have these done. The main skein, which is this hot mess. That's gonna be a nightmare to try and fix. Was Perfect Pair. This is a 70% acrylic, 23% viscose from bamboo, and 7% polyamide, and the colorway is Better Days. And the gray I used is Barocco Comfort Sock in a 50% superfine nylon and 50% superfine acrylic. Happy to have these done. Sorry about that. So finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 and 3 are some dishcloths. This is all I had left of it. So these are dishcloths made from Knit Picks Dishie in the goldfish colorway. 2 of them finished this week. I was just on a roll with these ones. They're knit on the bias, cast on 3 stitches, increase on every row on one side until you get to your desired number of stitches. My number is 43, and then you start decreasing till you get back to 3 stitches and then bind off. But these are done. This is my last bit of that colorway. I need to find my last skein of Knit Picks. I only have one left, and I'm not sure where I put it. So I need to hunt that down. try to cut all that out. I'm tired. Anyways, so my next finished object, I knitted, so those took me just about a day to do, a few hours. I have my little book here, let's see. Trying to find the page. Page 51. Okay. I originally started this project February 5th. Ripped it out. I restarted it on February 16th and I finished it February 21st. I knit for the 51 and 51.25 inch bust. I am a 46 to 48 most days. I use size 15 needles and US size 15 needles for the body and US size 10 for the ribbing. And I'm happy to say my test knit for Alicia Plummer, the super bulky Raglan that hasn't been named yet, is finished. So I have my sleeves, my neckline, my other sleeve. They ended up striping, which is fine. I didn't helical knit the body. But it is all done. I need to take some finished object photos of it and then trim all the ends. This was a really fun pattern to knit. I enjoyed it. The only thing I'm not sure about is the neckline. I feel like it accentuates all my double chins. So after the testing period, I might go back and redo it. We'll see. I might wear it a few times to see if try to like it, but here it is in all its glory. I still need to weigh it so I can find out exactly how much yarn I used, but I know that I have, this is the yarn I used. It's Lion Brand, Woolies, Thick and Quick. This is their 80% acrylic, 20% wool in the colorway Harvest. I bought 13, no, I bought 11 balls or 11 skeins, and I have this one and this left. So, and then the two others were just extras just in case. I was going to use them on the ribbing, on the neck and arms, or neck, cuff, and bottom, but I ended up not needing it because I ended up having a plenty. So this is finished. Super excited to get to wear it. It hasn't been cold enough really here yet. Like, we've only had 1 week maybe of cold weather, but I stayed inside the whole time because I work from home, so I don't go outside. So I usually just wear hoodies all day. But maybe when we go out this weekend, if it's super cold, I'll wear it. I don't think it's gonna be, it was like 45 yesterday. So that looks to be like all of my finished objects. I have a sweater, a pair of socks, and 2 dishcloths. A little better than last week with only 1 dishcloth, but so let's get into whips. I have a few, so I guess we'll start with what I worked on this weekend. So because I finished my sweater, and while we were out and about and I didn't have socks ready, I went ahead and I worked on my Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague. Hopefully you can't hear my heater turn on. I have my headphones in to try to cancel out some of the sound, but we'll see. Everybody's seen this pattern. You start at this end, you do your increases, and then you just knit a long tube until you're ready to do your decreases, and then you fold the hat in on itself. I was here this weekend where this marker was, so I got all of this knit on Saturday and Sunday. We were out doing our stuff. I am using a skein of yarn we got in Oregon. Bend, Oregon, I think. It's a Shanico wool, so it's a, I don't remember if it's super wash. I don't know where my tag is, I'll have to hunt it down. But it's really fun and pretty. I'm really excited to get it finished. It was nice to work on it. I'm knitting this on my High Sharps 2.25 3mm needles, a 16-inch cord. I have little needle stoppers, they're little unicorns. But there's that, and this is kept in my Deliq snap bag. My next project is also in a Deliq snap bag. Since I finished my socks and my dishcloths, I don't know where my other dishcloth yarn is, my last of the knit picks. Once I find it, it is literally my last skein. I have one thing of white dishcloth yarn, and then all I have left is scrubby yarn. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of scrubbies. But speaking of scrubbies, I have this Scrubology Scrub It yarn from Hobby Lobby, my yarn bead, and I'm just making little square scrubbies. So the same thing as my dishcloths, cast on 3 stitches, knit a row, then increase 1 stitch every row. And then I started to decreases. I think I'm doing 21 stitches across and then starting the decreases. So here's that one. It is a whip. These won't take me very long because they're not very big. And then my next whip is living in a pickle bag. And it is a sock tube. So I got the heel on, or the cuff on. I already had the toe. I put on the cuff and I'm working on the heel. And this is my yarn. I don't remember what yarn this is. And then here is my second one. I marked for the heel and picked up the stitches, so I just have to cut it when I'm ready to, once this one's done. The main sock color is Western Sky Knits. But, so hopefully I'll have a pair of socks done next week. Here's the tag. Western Sky Knits. I got this in Montana when we were on vacation. The colorway is Barnwood. I cranked the sock tubes on my circular sock knitting machine. I have an Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster, which I cranked some sock tubes for a customer last night, which I can insert a photo here somewhere. That was something else that I finished. I cranked 6 sock tubes for them. I guess my next whip. So, hold on, let me perform some surgery really fast. My stitches came out. No. I thought I pulled them out yesterday, but I wasn't sure. I guess I should probably put stitch protectors on these. I have some, but I don't know if they fit on the big needle. I'll have to try it out. Luckily, yay, we got it all saved. Okay. So this has been a long-standing whip. I abandoned it for my test knit, but I've picked it back up. And let me stuff all the extra needles down in here. We have all right, this is the front. My colder than yesterday sweater, test knit sweater for Noriknits that is in the Lane 52 Weeks of Sweaters, I think is the name of the book. I'll try to remember to add it. I always forget about that, but here we go. I have put the arms on. So here's one sleeve, here's the other sleeve. And so now I'm just working the body till I get ready to start decreasing and going up, but here we go. So we're making progress. It took me a while to get what's the word I'm looking for? The motivation up to put the sleeves on, because I was afraid it was going to be harder than it was. It wasn't that hard at all. I just kept second guessing myself, but here we go. Here it is. And I just pulled my needles, my stitches off my needles again. Well, time to put it back on and maybe find my stitch stoppers. I have them. I don't know why I don't use them as much as I do, or as much as I should. It'd probably save me a lot of pain. All right. They're little skeletons. I got them from my Yarnable subscription for October of, I think, last year. Maybe the year before. No, I think it was last year. No, it was the year before. Anyways, so the yarn I'm using, the main color is Loosen Thread in the Blue Dawn colorway. It is a 55% superwash merino, 45% acrylic, and then the pink mohair is Cascade Kid Seta, a 61% Super Kid mohair, 35% silk, 4% wool, and the colorway is hot pink, but the shade is 18. They don't put colorways, but it says hot pink when I looked it up online. All right. So that whip is done. Dishcloth hat, socks, sweater. I did grab the next pair of socks that I'm going to work on for my mother-in-law. They are cranked on my circular softening machine. I did a hung hem, and then I just cranked the whole tube to the next one. When it's for me, I don't put waist or ripcord in. I just will separate it. I hung the second hip and cranked all the way. These come in 2 little balls. I'll see if I can't insert. It's a cotton, like elastic yarn. I just have to decide how long I'm making them. So I went ahead and I cranked. They come like 50 gram little balls. Like I said, I'll add it. But I don't know if I'm gonna make shorties, but I figured I'll just crank the whole ball and then I can put my needles in where I want and then unravel and use that for toes and heels since I already did my hung hem. So I'm excited to get these started. I just have to find my knitting needles for them. I always manage to misplace my US size 3s. I don't know why that's so hard for me to keep track of. I don't know if they're in the bottom of this bag. I don't know. Nope. Nope. They are not in here. There's chapstick though. These are socks that I think I'm gonna rip out because after our last discussion about how I'm not enjoying knitting socks, these are 2 pairs that need to be ripped out. I think when I am ready to do that, I will show them to you. They're the blue ones and a pair of pink ones. I don't think you've seen the pink ones. So next, I guess, is spinning. So I have one bobbin finished. I'm calling this Tequila Sunrise. Don't know what the colorway is or the color is, but it reminded me of a Tequila Sunrise drink. Had yellows and pinks and oranges, but here it is. It's pretty true to color. I'm spinning this up on my electric eel wheel nano. Nope, my electric eel wheel 6.1. And then I have the second one on right now. I'm not finished with it. I still have about halfway to go. Kind of reminds me of a grape popsicle in the summertime where it starts out super dark and then goes to light as you're eating it. But this is my electric eel wheel 6.1. I really enjoy spinning on it. This purple one gave me some grief. I almost threw it away because I was really struggling with it and I couldn't figure out why. And then I was like, okay, I'll just sit down and I'll make another adjustment and see if I can get it to work. And I did. So look at me go. So once that purple is done, I have this little fiber nest bump to spin. These are all 2 ounces, 2.1 ounces to be exact. And then I'm gonna apply them together. I'm hoping it will go good together. I could be a completely in denial and delusional, but like I said, I asked my people, and my oldest is really into art and color, things like that. I asked her, she said it's gonna look good. I don't know, we'll find out. We will find out. So that is my spinning. Like I said, I cranked some sock tubes. I cranked 6. I have 5 more to crank tonight, but I have to cone up the yarn. Do I have anything else to talk about? I guess we can talk about these socks. So, like I was saying, I decided I'm not in the mood anymore to hand knit socks, which is fine. Like, hand knit the whole sock. So, all of my sock whips that I have, I'm going to go ahead and frog them all and then put the yarn on cones and just crank the cones. So I had just started these toes on these toe-up socks. This is a sock blink I got in Ritzville, maybe? It's a gradient. It's Alexandria Crafts. The baby got a hold of it. And this is not DK weight yarn. Doesn't, oh, turquoise snow is the colorway. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna frog these and then cone them up. So the sock tubes I have to crank tonight. I have 2 to crank on the 64 and then 3 on the 72. Once I switch the 72 over, then I'm gonna crank this and this pair into sock tubes and then have them off to the side. See, and I got past the heel flap and gusset, and these are these were a test knit for Nancy. They are the Bah Humbug socks. They're very pretty. I just they don't fit the person very well. So I did remake socks for the test knit, but I haven't posted them online. I need to. I've been really bad at posting, but they have a cable going down the back. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, let me try putting them on a sock blocker, shall we? So I need to do better, but here is how it looks. There we go. I feel like I did my cables wrong, but I know I didn't. And then here's the back. Nancy always makes such fun patterns. The attention to detail, because there's a cable that runs up the back. But this is Yarnable, the Yarnable January colorway for 2025. But I'm gonna frog these and then just crank a sock tube and make sock tube socks. So, with that being said, I think I'm all done. Under 30 minutes, look at me go. Of course, I'll probably ramble on for 10 years like usual, but nothing new here. We got all our demo done for our basement and our estimate, so now we're just waiting for them to schedule a time to come back in and rebuild it. Been working like usual. It's not cold here right now, which is kind of weird. Been working on my spinning. I'm getting somewhere on my sweater. I will be really excited. I am hoping that once I start the decreases, the Raglan decreases, it will go faster, and then I'll have that off the needles, and then I can pick up one of my other whips. I'm down here in the basement, and all of my whips are in this closet right here. I wonder if that's where my yarn is. I don't know. So excited to get this off my needles, start working on socks for my mother-in-law, finish these socks, work on my Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague, if I didn't say that. I love this hat. It's been really fun. The baby was napping and I was able to just knit while she was napping on me. Let's see what else I need to cake that up and probably crank a sock tube out of it so I can have a stash of tubes ready for my mother-in-law, because sock patterns are not bringing me joy. Hand knitting full socks is not bringing me joy. So other than that, I think I'm done. I hope you guys have a great week. Have fun with your knitting. Stay warm if it's cold where you are. If it's warm where you are, hopefully it's not too warm. Thank you again for watching my videos. Last video I had a huge increase of viewers. It's kind of crazy, but I thank you all for sitting down and hanging out with me for 30 minutes or so every week. But with that, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.